The average child at House of Hope has 2 house parents.
I went through 14 house parents. 14.
The average child here has 2 counselors.
4 different counselors. You guys can't handle me. People just come and go, they can't handle it.
The average child has about 4 drops in their journey with us.
I was dropped on a face freeze 23 times. I did not play games. My first day here, I argued the Constitution, put oranges in everyone's tailpipe with the car, hoping the exhaust would blow out their engine. I short out the electricity on the entire property. You step on my shoes, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth. Like, it doesn't matter. I just remember sitting on the couch of the house right behind here, I don't know if the house is still there, and I'm just choking this kid, and his eyes, and it's just blood vessels are popping, and I'm just, why did I do that? I'm just pain, there's hurt. I'm like really sad. Trying to follow the rules, I'm probably like, Bobby, do your schoolwork. So Liz, I'm really sad right now. Bobby, do your schoolwork. And it's just boiling, and I'm at my desk, and I'm just like, wham! I was a very angry child. Angry, violent, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I pretty much was in a fight with every guy that I was in here with. Broken noses, busting them, it didn't matter. From cutting myself, from beating up people, from sleeping around, from drinking and drugs and gangs and the whole 9 yards. I had 3 different fathers. One beat me, one I didn't know. So my stepdad at 10 left us. He was abusive physically, mentally. My friends remember and tell me stories. Screwdrivers beating us across the head, choking us, throwing us against walls. And then my adopted dad, I found out, isn't really my real dad. So my biological father at 15, I'm like, well, who is he? What does he look like? Do I know him? And so at that point, I was not very nice to my mom. You can imagine. I yelled, I cussed, I screamed, I hit, I fought. So how do you shorten that time to meet Jesus with someone who's so unruly? For me, it was a late night. It was 11 o'clock at night. It was 12 o'clock in the morning. It was 1 o'clock in the morning when the house parents, after everyone was in bed, would sit and talk to me. Every single night. They were sacrificing of themselves and of their lives to pour into me because it was real. It wasn't a job. It was real. They weren't like, oh, because you messed up or doing all this bad stuff to try to change your behavior. It's Miss Connie. Yes, you have 35 minutes of counseling a day, but you need an hour and a half. You need 2 hours. I love you. It's when people would go up and beyond and sacrifice of themselves to really pour into me because they cared. So I recognize the volunteers. I think of Ken Shoemaker. I'll often think of him like, what's he doing right now? Just 20 years later, what's Kent Shoemaker doing? Where is he at? Because I think he had a fruit business, and I want to do business. Like, what would he do? And so, in my life, because I don't have anybody to go to, I have to imagine the volunteers and the financial donors of House of Hope when I was here. I think of Walt Malone. I'm like, what would he do? I don't know him really well, but I meet these people once or twice at House of Hope, and here it is 20 years later, I'm trying to live my life, and I'm thinking, what would they do? How would they handle this situation? It's like the Miss Shoemaker, not afraid to take thugs in her car. You know what I mean? That's a big deal to me. Going to Betsy Nicholson's house, and I'm like, wow, I'm riding Tiger Woods' jet ski right now. Like, who am I? I've hurt a lot of people. I don't deserve that kindness and that generosity. I don't deserve that kind of love. And then people are like, well, why does that really matter? I'm like, because it's love and acceptance. And when it's real love and acceptance, it makes a huge, huge, powerful difference. It was November 11th of 1997. I was in a Trailblazer with Mary Trotter, who was executive director at the time at House of Hope. And I'm sitting in a car with her. And I said, Mary, as I've been in the program now for about 11 months. And I looked at her and I'm like, Mary, if this Jesus is real that you're talking about, if he really can help me, then what prayer should I pray to get on this thing? Because I want to get out of this program, I want to get on with my life. I've been here almost a year now. Like, if this Jesus is real? So it took almost 11 months for me to finally buy into, believe, trust, really see the value in what this Jesus everybody talked about. And she looked at me and she's kind of quiet. And I'm like, Mary, that light's going to turn green. And when it does, your opportunity is gone. I'm done. And she's like, well, first, Bobby, I never thought I would hear those words come out of your mouth. I thought you were a lost one. I did not think you were going to make it. I believe we lost you. but the prayer is really simple. Just say, Jesus, I'm sorry for my sins, and I want you to make you Lord of my life. And that was November 11th, 1997, on that corner of Holden and OBT. And 2 days ago, I was able to show my kids that very spot of where like everything changed. And I looked at Mary and I said, I don't feel anything. Like nothing's different, I'm the same. She said, oh, just give it time. Things will change. And it did. 10 years ago, my wife and I moved to Waterville, Maine. And currently we own 3 restaurants. So the first one we have is a Selah Tea Cafe. It's like a loose leaf tea infusion with pretty much all organic, all natural food. Then I have a hot dog stand that we do, hot dog stand, Grammy K's we do in the summer. And then we also have like a smoothie juice bar. So yeah, I've been forgiven much. And so in my businesses, I try to help and pastor, if you will, my employees through their life. So the ministry I have is every day being in those arms that were shed here for me in 96 through 1999 that helped me and loved me and held me through all my issues, trying to now be those arms to other people. And yes, I get ridiculed. People are like, that doesn't make sense, why do you? And I'm like, it worked for me, it has to work for somebody else. God is real, and that's what they're trying to show us. They're trying to show us that God is real and He wants to heal us. Now, how can I take that small piece of time here and then make that a part of my life forever? Yeah, there's a lot of things I think about what could do to help House of Hope from a volunteer perspective or financially. And so like me personally, when I start making money, I want to be able to give back. And they poured into my life physically, emotionally, even financially. They helped me. They put me through Bible college. I mean, they've helped support me as well. So I want to be able to give back. Every time I get those emails about the benefit dinners that come, I'm like, I think about the people who are there, and do they realize what their money is really doing? And I think about, like, I don't know if there's a song, but the phrase, like, I am a life that's changed. Like, I really am. So yes, be a volunteer. Yes, give financially, because it really does make an impact.